Yeah. All right. Three, two, one. What's up, comrades? Niall here, and welcome to another video. Today, I kind of wanted to do a video response to Captain Frugal, who's an awesome dude. He did a video where I got, what was it? What got me into gaming, I think was the appropriate title that he gave. And I decided, okay, let's go into the boxes, so to speak, find some of my oldest games, and then kind of, tell a story, I guess. Some of you may have heard parts of this story. I started playing video games around. Well, I didn't start playing, first off. My first exposure to video games when I was probably about between 3 and 4, maybe about 5. I don't. The details are a bit fuzzy, if you were. Yeah, but I was at a friend's house, and their their daughters were much younger, or much not younger, older than me and my brother, and they were playing Super Mario Brothers on the NES, and yeah, me and my brother got super pumped and excited. We were watching Mario jump, and we were constantly saying "Jump, Mario!" and all sorts of other fun stuff. That was my first exposure to video games, and it's a very vivid memory for me. But also, I started to actually play video games when I was. I don't remember. I think we were probably about getting close to 7 or 8. Was when we got our first consoles, and they were hand me downs from another family friend of ours who gave them to us. And it was pretty simple. We ended up with an Atari 2600 and a Nintendo Entertainment System with a bunch of games. We didn't buy a whole lot of games of our own uh, at the time. It was mainly just whatever small games we could, or whatever games came with the system, and we would rent games here and there. But we had a bunch of games. I don't remember much of like the Atari system and what we had for it. We probably had Pac-Man and Pong and probably a few other ones here and there. I don't remember very well then, but I do remember the Nintendo games that we had. We had like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3. We had, oh, what was the other ones? We had Top Gun. Yep, we had Top Gun. And Jaws. We had some movie-based games. Those were pretty cool. They're hard as hell. You could good luck beating any of them. We never could get past like the first levels of any of those stages. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Nope. And over time, eventually, once the 16-bit era started out, I ended up getting a Sega Genesis, which now my brother started to collect vintage games and whatnot. So now he's starting to get back into Sega Genesis. He bought himself a Genesis and a Dreamcast. Lucky bastard. But yeah, I bought a Sega Genesis, had a few games for it, like the Sonic games and a few other games here and there. I don't think we had Lion King. But then over the years, we've played around with pretty much every system. Oh, sorry. We've played around with every system you could possibly think of. We had a 64. We had a PlayStation 1. We had an Xbox. We had PS2. As you can see, yeah, I've had pretty much most game consoles that you can think of, at least the ones that are mainstream and are very obvious. Um, One of the things that really got me super excited or that basically I'm going to now explain like genre-based video games here for a bit, because this genre right here, the JRPG genre, is the genre I love the most. Out of all video games, this is the one that I get super excited for and that I love so very, very much. And as you can see, we have quite the collection of PlayStation 1 JRPGs here. It's not the biggest collection, but this is basically most of what I have left for my PlayStation 1 collection. But I love a lot of these games, and a lot of these games have their own stories behind them. Maybe someday I'll do a video discussing them, those particular stories in detail, if that's what you guys want to hear about. I'd love to talk about them more in depth. The stories, especially for ones like Wild Arms 2, Tactics, Final Fantasy 7, maybe Star Ocean, the second story. These are really good games, by the way. If you have a PlayStation 1 or PS2 or something that can play older games, I recommend all of these. Yes. They're so lovely. These are really good games, actually. They're a lot of fun. I still play them off and on to this day. I mean, this is more recent. I didn't actually originally own Star Ocean, the second story. Me and my brother rented it when I think it was around the time when it came out. We didn't own it, but now I own it, so, which is super awesome. And you could see my reflection. Hi there. Wild Arms has a really good story behind it, and I was thinking about this not that long ago, but I was contemplating doing a series of kind of, I don't know if you would call it a retrospective on some of these games, but basically kind of just tell a story and my general thoughts of each game. A lot of the ones that are JRPGs that I fell in love with over the years. I think that it would be really nice to do that. But, you know, I would prefer to have a better production value to do those things. You know, I want to get my computer back up and running before I do that. Sorry, my thumb is happy to see you. But yeah, you could just look at this. These are so cool. I love JRPGs. We're actually planning a stream for JRPGs in the foreseeable future, sometime next week. Super cool. Actually, you could kind of tell this game was not originally mine. This is my brother's game. You can see his initials are right there. But this was actually the first JRPG I ever played. Was this one. And maybe, like I said, I'll tell stories about these later in depth at another time. But what got me into games? Well, pretty much stuff like this. And just having a wonderful system and getting started. Getting started with the Nintendo Entertainment System was pretty much that was kind of the start of my addiction, I guess you could say. I'd rather be addicted to something. It's not an addiction, actually. I don't play games as much as I used to. When I was younger, I would like hammer in like several hours into games like these. But, you know, with real life and whatnot, you don't have nearly as much time as you think you do. So I don't do that nearly as much as I used to. And, well, I don't know why. I'm getting a little bit deep and philosophical here. I know that, what is it? Addictions to anything can happen. That includes video games. But I'm not that addicted. I mean, I barely buy any new games. If I buy games, they're normally ones that are kind of getting up there in years or whatever is affordable for me at the time. I'm very careful with my money, and when it comes to new games, I mean, there's not a whole lot of new games that really get me excited a lot of the time. But there's always that rare occasion where it's like, oh yeah, I gotta have that game. That's the game I want to have. Those are coming up. Oh, I forgot to mention. I gotta put these to the side real quick. I also think that... Come here. We're gonna be doing some manga reviews. I've got 3 mangas that I've recently finished reading. We've got Tiger and Bunny, Death March to a Parallel World Rhapsody, and Persona 3. You guys can tell me in the comments which one of these mangas you want me to review first. And depending on the numbers I get from this video, I'll do reviews for each individual book over the course of the next week or couple weeks. But we'll talk about them, because I recently finished reading them, and I might as well review them. I mean, I haven't done comic book based content in a while, and I know you guys are some of you are probably starving for some, so we'll do these. And hopefully I can find some more mangas to read. This one came from my brother and whatnot, so there might be a few more that I might pick up and read. But with that said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please, as always, do not forget to leave me a like, shoot me a comment, subscribe if you're new here, and of course you gotta hit the bell for notifications, of course. And as always, do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I will see you